all stem cells are the same, and that's not the case. So the work that we've been doing for the last decade on bone marrow transplantation requires stem cells in order to reestablish the immune system once you've destroyed it. This is nothing like that. This is the first time that we're considering the use of mesenchymal stem cells in multiple sclerosis. We need to establish what these cells actually can do and can't do. I think the safety is clear, but we don't know what their full capacity is. So for patients who are going to go into this study, again, they're helping immensely by pioneering with us in discovering what the cells are capable of doing. And I think that they're going to be enthusiastic about it. But we really don't know that they're going to suddenly get better, that they will repair. But we need to find out if they're capable of doing anything biologically. We're doing the same study in Canada, or we intend to do the same study that we're doing everywhere else in the world. So this is an international combined effort so that we all adopt the same protocol. We derive the cells in a similar manner. We calculate the dose together in the same way, and we infuse it at time 0. We measure using the MRI and clinical evaluations at exactly the same times. And it's called a delayed crossover trial. So everybody who goes into this study will get cells, and they're going to get their own cells, but they won't know whether they're getting it at the beginning or at 6 months. And the study ends at 6 months so that we have the people who got the cells to be compared to those that didn't. But then at 6 months, those that did not will get their cells, and we actually repeat the procedures for another 6 months so that the people who got their cells at the beginning will get a sham cell preparation at month 6, and at a year we'll be able to see whether or not there's some durability of whatever the response was that we saw. And in the meantime, those that delayed getting it and got it at 6 months, we'll be able to see if there's a difference in them from 6 months to 12 months. It's kind of almost repeating the experiment, but it helps us to be sure that any effect that we're actually measuring is repeatable and convinces us of the effect. This type of study, as you could imagine, could only be done in very select centers around the world that have really the expertise in MS, coupled with the ability to have a good manufacturing process approved site that makes stem cells. And stem cell centers are extremely expensive to set up and can be quite complex to run. That is why it has to be a multi-center study. And with the international cooperation of many of the countries, we're able to get enough patients to answer our question. Right now, we are dependent mostly on the Europeans who have had this up and running, and they've already hit, in some cases, the maximum number of patients they can handle. Canada, in its 2 sites that has this facility, is really perched to make a huge contribution of 40 patients to a study that will have a maximum recruitment of 200 people. So you can see we're going to have a great impact on the study by contributing almost 25% of the patients that are needed. And so it's a great opportunity for the Canadians. It's a great opportunity for the stem cell centers to now work in autoimmune disease like MS. And then together with our colleagues around the world, we'll quickly get to an answer so that we can move to the next stage if in fact it's positive, and we can start repair trials. I think our Canadian MS researchers have always been world leaders in coming up with not only treatments, but a lot of the research that ultimately ends up in some treatments. And this being one of the most novel and exciting treatments that have come up in recent years, I think it's only appropriate that Canada takes a frontline role in trying to move the field ahead. So we're obviously grateful not only to be able to get the funding, but also to have the patients who are willing to undergo these treatments. and allow us to participate in this way. There are a number of stem cell centers throughout Canada that are starting to play a world-leading role in their areas, and now I think we can say MS is one of them.